Hey, what's up everyone? Adam here with brahwegotthis, and today we have another build for you optimized for ESO Blackwood patch. This is the no death Magicka build submitted and shared with me by Just Bakes in our community. So huge shout out to Bakes for sharing this build with me. This build is designed to obviously not allow you to die, but it is a very simple and easy build to use. It uses 2 bars, but you can ideally also just use 1 bar if 2 bars is too difficult for you. The big thing though with this build is that you will be able to solo content, you're going to be able to output a good bit of damage and heal yourself for a lot of damage that is going to allow you again to just be able to never die basically. If you're looking for a build that's easy to use and easy to pick up, you are in the right place. I want to give a huge shout out real quick to all my patrons. Thank you so much for all the support. If you'd like to become a patron, check out the link below in the description. You get access to early videos and much more. Also, you can watch me play live on twitch.tv/brahwegotthis. You can come join our Discord as well. You can follow me on Twitter at brahwegotthis, and you can check out our website at brahwegotthis.com where we have beginner content and builds. But like all my other build videos, what I like to do is break down each section. So stats, armor, skills, CPU, rotation, all that good stuff. And so I will have timestamps in the description, but I do recommend that you do go through the whole video because there is some important information here in the video, because this build does have some alternate setups that if you are looking for more of an easy rotation or an easy setup, you've got that. And then there's a more advanced one that you can also use as well. So I would just recommend going through each part because it is important. But first off, we're going to start off with the stats, race, mundus stone, and the buff food. So our stats are looking like on the front bar here without any buffs besides our food, because a lot of our damage is on the front bar. We're 64 points into Magicka, 37.4k max Magicka, 23.4k max health, 12.2k max stamina. We're at 60.7% spell critical, 3490 spell damage. We're running the Shadow Mundus Stone, which increases our critical damage and healing by 15% because we, again, are going to be doing some solid damage and some solid healing. For the race, we're using the High Elf, okay? The High Elf is a great Magicka race. And for the food, this is where you can have many options, okay? So right now, we're using the Corrupted Bloody Mara, which is going to give us a nice little boost to health and health recovery. Besides that, you can use any sort of blue flat buff food that gives you like max Magicka, max health. Any of that stuff will do. If your sustain is an issue, you can go with Witch Mother's Brew, which is the right here, this Witch Mother's Potent Brew. You can use this if sustain is an issue, or you can use Artaeum Takeaway Broth as well if you want the better option of those two. So there is a lot of options there with the buff food. So now let's go into the skills and the passives. There is some alternate things that you can do with this, but this setup is very simple and it's very easy to use, okay? So the first skill we have is Unstable Wall of Fire. This is just an amazing area of effect skill. It's just fantastic. You want to always have this up. This is the skill that you get on the destruction line, the second skill. The second skill on the bar is the Blazing Spear. This is, again, a fantastic skill from the Templar. It's going to do 7927 magic damage, and it's going to do additional 864 magic damage in the area every 1 second for 10 seconds. You're also going to allow your allies to activate the Blessed Shards synergy, restoring 3,960 Magicka or stamina, whichever maximum is higher. It's just a fantastic skill, okay? And this one is in your Aedric Spear line right here. Third skill is Ritual of Retribution. This is a cleanse, technically, but it also is going to do 3,087 magic damage every 2 seconds for 12 seconds, which increases by 5% per tick. And then allies in the area can also activate the Purify synergy, cleansing all harmful effects from themselves and healing 5,735 health. This ability scales off your highest offensive stats. Next skill is Elemental Drain. This is going to apply Major Breach, which is going to reduce their target's physical and spell resistance by 5948. It's also going to apply Minor Magicka Steal, causing you and your allies to restore 168 Magicka every 1 second when damaging them, which is really nice for sustain. This is, again, in the destruction staff line right here. Ritual of Retribution is in the Restoring Light line right here. Last skill is Razor Caltrops. This is going to do an area of effect damage. It's going to do damage in an area of effect. And enemies who take damage from the Caltrops have Major Breach applied to them, reducing their physical and spell resistance by 5948 for 2 seconds. So we have Major Breach here for both of these skills, but for this skill, we are using this also for Minor Magicka Steel, okay? Again, this is nice for our sustain. The ultimate here is the Fiery Rage Destruction Staff skill. This is going to just do a lot of damage in a short amount of time. I love this ultimate. The front bar, we've got the old faithful puncturing sweeps. This is just going to be jab, 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 jab. This deals a ton of magic damage. It is basically in an 8x6 area when it does this. And it's also going to heal you for 40% of the damage done with this ability. It's a fantastic just skill. It's probably one of the most ridiculous skills in the game. It's the first skill you get in the Adric Spear line. It's fantastic. We also have Solar Barrage. Okay, Solar Barrage is going to deal 2,499 magic damage every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. While this ability is active, you gain Empower, increasing your damage of your light and heavy attacks by 40%. Third skill is Inner Light. Inner Light is here just to be slotted on our bar. This is from the Mage's Guild. So you're going to increase your max magicka by 5% with this on the bar. You're also going to gain Major Prophecy, increasing your spell critical ratings by 2,629. The fourth skill is Barb Trap. This is going to basically give us Minor Force, increasing our critical damage by 10% for the duration. It's a fantastic skill. You want to always have this up. The fifth skill is Honor the Dead. This is going to be a massive heal, 11,590 health, which is going to be fantastic. And then healing anyone who is below 75% health restores 18% of the ability's cost every 2 seconds over 6 seconds as Magicka, which is awesome. The ultimate here is Shooting Star from the Mage's Guild. This is going to do a ton of damage, and enemies are going to take 4,653 flame damage in an area of effect every 1 second for 13 seconds. You're also going to generate 12 ultimate for each enemy hit by this initial blast, and so if you're in a mob of enemies, you'll have this back almost instantly. So for alternatives, okay, we have a lot. This is the setup that Bakes presented that is the most optimized for the easiest use of the build. Okay, something that Bakes mentioned as well is that Radiant Oppression obviously can be switched into the build. This is an amazing execute skill, but to get the most out of this, you want to also make sure that your magicka is high. So if you're struggling with sustain, then again, this skill is still solid, but this is something that really shines as well if your magicka is higher. So if you wanted to use this, you could put this on the back bar here. You could switch out Ellie Drain, or you could even switch out Ritual of Retribution. But again, that is up to you if you want to do that. And again, this front bar is designed to be so simple. Again, like I told you, this is a 2-bar build. But if you want to have a 1-bar setup, okay, you ideally can do a ton of damage just with this bar. And when we get to the rotation, I'll kind of explain that. But this is a very, very simple and easy setup right here. Obviously, there's other skills that you could use and switch out, but the biggest one that I would say, again, is Radiant Oppression. If you do feel like you're not struggling with sustain, put that here on the back bar. Another one that you could also consider using as well if you are struggling with sustain is Channeled Focus. Channeled Focus is going to give you magicka back every 1 second as well. And it's also going to heal you if you stand within the runes. So that's something else that you can do as well. But let's go ahead and go into the passives. Again, we're going to explain the rotation later in the video, especially for the 1-bar setup if you would like. But let's go into the passives. For the passives, pretty simple. Adric Spear line, get all the passives. Dawn's Wrath, you want all the passives as well. Restoring Light, you can get all the passives as well. For the weapons, for the dual wield, we have dual wield for our weapons, which is actually very cool and interesting to me. You want Dual Wield Expert, increases weapon and spell damage by 6% of the offhand weapon's damage, and Twin Blade and Blunt. It's also going to increase your critical chance. And the reason we're using 2 daggers is for the extra crit. Now, for the Destruction Staff passives, we can get all of the Destruction Staff passives here. For the armor, we want all the light armor passives here. For the guilds, for fighters, we can get Banish the Wicked. For the Mage's Guild line, you can get all of these actually, since we have Shooting Star and Mage Light. Magicka Controller is really nice. Might of the Guild is really nice. Everlasting Magic is also really, really good as well. And then I like Mage Adept as well. And then for the Undaunted, you can get both Undaunted passives here. For the Racial, you want all the High Elf passives, obviously. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the item sets. These item sets are actually pretty solid, and a lot of them are in the base game. So this is something that, again, is a pretty simple setup for the most part. You will have to grind for a few item sets, and there are some alternatives depending on if you're running solo, dungeon, and trials. So this is going to be the solo and dungeon setup right here that we have in the initial setup. So we're running 5-piece War Maiden. So this is in the Vardenfell Overland. So that is in the base game. This is going to add spell critical, max Magicka spell damage, and 600 spell damage to your magic damage abilities, which we have a lot of magic damage abilities. So this is really, really awesome with the Templar. And this is going to be infused on the chest with the max Magicka enchant. We've got Divines on the belt, max Magicka enchant. We got Divines on the boots, max Magicka enchant. Infused on the breeches, max Magicka. And then we've got Divines on the gloves with max Magicka. Now, for our other 5-piece set, we're just running Mother Sorrow. Mother Sorrow, everyone's seen it. It's really simple. You can farm it in Deshaun, an overland set. These are very easy sets to get, okay? This is adding max Magicka and all spell crit. These are fantastic. So we have Mother Sorrow on the shoulders, which is Divines. And then we have Mother Sorrow ring and necklace. And then we have daggers of Mother Sorrow, which allow us to get that 5-piece bonus. These daggers have precise, which increases weapon and spell critical by 3%. Both of these have a flame damage enchant on them. Now, so we have some other sets here that you're probably wondering, okay, what does he have here? So we have Ring of the Pale Order. This is an absolutely amazing ring. You all know it. This is a mythic item in the Greymore DLC or expansion. And so this is a solid item. Now, if you are running trials, you do not need to have this item. You can switch this item out with everyone's favorite Harpooner's Wading Kilt, okay? This is something that, again, is going to be amazing for this build. It's really good for a lot of builds, but you can switch that out for trials because you don't really need the Ring of the Pale Order when you're in a trial, okay? So keep that in mind. We're running 1 piece of Slime Crawl to give us some more crit chance, which is, again, a base game dungeon. And then for the back bar Inferno Staff, we're using the Maelstrom Inferno Staff. All right, this is going to have a weapon damage enchant, and it's going to be infused. Now, for Slime Crawl, this is also Divines and max Magicka enchants. Now, another setup that you can also use as well is you can use Grundwolf on the shoulder piece. So this right here, this is going to give us another crit chance. And then you can just switch the Pale Order out with Mother Sorrow. So again, if you're not using the Pale Order, if you don't want to use it for a dungeon, if you don't want to use it for solo, you can switch the Pale Order out, or if you don't even have the Pale Order, you can switch this out with another piece of Mother Sorrow, okay, right here, and then this shoulder piece can be Grundwolf. Grundwolf, again, is this is gonna add 634 crit chance. So again, if you're progressing this this build and you don't have all the item sets yet, like the mythic items, take off the Pale Order or remove the Pale Order, get another Ring of Mother Sorrow, and you can put Grundwolf here on the shoulders instead. So those are the multiple setups that you can actually have. That's why, again, I said that if you go to the timestamps, you might miss a few things, but I hope that those made sense to you all. If you have any questions about it, let me know down in the comments below, and you can ask me on Twitch as well. And if you do like this content, make sure to like, subscribe, heavy attack that bell icon to stay up to date on all the content in the channel. I do really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. And so let's go into the CP now, okay? So the CP for this build, we're running 50 into Fighting Finesse, 50 into Biting Aura, 50 into Thaumaturge, and we got 50 into Reaving Blows. You can put points into here, 20 into Piercing, 40 into Flawless Ritual, 30 into War Mage as well. And then you can also put some air as well. You got 20 into Quick Recovery, 20 into Preparation, and then we have some over here. We got 10 into Blessed right here. And so again, you can use your points in other ways. If you also just have extra points, you can always do that. For the red tree, for the slottable skills, we've got Rejuvenation, Ironclad, Boundless Vitality, and Siphoning Spells. You also have 50 into Mystic Tenacity, 30 into Tumbling, 16 into Hasty, 20 into Tyler's Guardian. And then as you can see, you have others here that you can put in as well. For the green tree, again, this is kind of up to you, but for Bakes' build, we've got Treasure Hunter slotted, Rationer, Liquid Efficiency, and Steed's Blessing. Okay, so now for the rotation, okay? This is where the rotation is super, super simple, And I'm going to go through the 2-bar setup, and I'm also going to go through alternates with that, and then alternates if you want to go with the 1-bar setup if it's something, again, that you just can't handle the 2-bar setup. This, again, is very, very simple, and you're going to be able to do a solid amount of damage. This build, again, is designed for mid-game players. If you're good at animation canceling, light attack weaving, you can push this build even farther, but it is a solid build for mid-game players. So we're going to go through this slow, and then we will speed it up a little bit so you guys can see it more in action or real time. So you start off with weakness to elements, caltrops, light attack, shards, light attack, wall of elements. Now, you can use the ritual skill here as well if you would like to. It's going to do damage over time, but this is also just a purify skill to also heal your teammates as well. And again, you can switch this skill out with the radiant oppression execute skill if, again, you are feeling like you've grasped this build pretty well, but that is really up to you. So I'm going to go over this again. Weakness to elements, caltrops, light attack, shards, light attack, wall of elements, switch bars. So when we're on our front bar, we're going to go barb trap, light attack, solar barrage, light attack, jabs, 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 switch bars, and do it over. Okay, now in between your jabs, if you can weave a light attack, that is ideal. It's going to be better for your damage. But if you cannot, you can just go 3 jabs in a row. Okay, so let's go over that again. Weakness to elements, caltrops, light attack, shards, light attack, wall of elements, switch bars, trap, solar barrage, light attack, jabs, 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 and then whenever your ultimate is up, shooting star, and that just did 51k damage on that impact, which was pretty awesome. But yeah, that is really just the rotation. It's very, very simple. Now, that is the easiest form of the rotation. Like I said, if you can light attack weave your jabs in between, then make sure you do that, okay? Because you definitely want to get some light attacks in between then. But if you don't, then you're still going to be able to do a solid amount of damage and get your heals back. But that is, again, something that you need to gauge based off your level of being comfortable with this rotation, okay? So I'm going to go through it one more time, and then I'm going to go through the alternate stuff, okay? So weakness to elements, caltrops, light attack, shards, light attack, wall of elements, switch bars, barb trap, light attack, solar barrage, light attack, jabs, 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 switch bars, wall of elements, caltrops, shards, weakness, switch bars back, okay? Again, use your ultimates as they come up. So for the alternate stuff, okay, so the alternate rotations, all right, this is something where, again, if you feel like your sustain is fine, you feel like you've grasped this pretty well, you can switch that radiant oppression skill right here in the Dawn's Wrath line. And what this does is this is an execute skill. So you will only use this skill, okay? You will only use this skill if the enemy is below 50% health, okay? So you don't want to be using this when they're at 80% health. You want to use it when they're 50% health, okay? So that's what you can do with Radiant Oppression. Now, if you also want to put Channel Focus in here, like I said, and switch out like Weakness to Elements, you want to pop that before you get into a battle so you can get that Magicka over time, okay? Now, for the 1-bar setup, the 1-bar setup is so simple, okay? For the 1-bar setup, literally, all you have to do is put your trap down, Solar Barrage, jabs. That's literally all you do, okay? Trap, Solar Barrage, jabs, okay? And then you just want to be light attacking in between that, and you use your ultimate besides that. Because again, this one right here, Honor the Dead, is going to be a heal. You're not going to have to worry about it. You got Pale Ring healing you, and you also have your CP Star healing you as well. We're going to go through this rotation a little bit faster here, so you just see a little bit more real time, so you can see what it's looking like. So again, Weakness to Elements, Caltrops, Light Attack, Shards, Light Attack, Wall, Switch, Trap, Barrage, Jabs, Light Attack, Jabs, Light Attack, Jabs, Light Attack, Switch Bars, Wall, Shards, Caltrops, Trap again if it's up, Barrage. So as you can tell from those rotations, this is a very simple build to use, okay? Again, for your 2-bar build, you can switch your Radiant Oppression out here, and you can get your channel focus there as well. But if not, literally, you just go Weakness to Elements, Caltrops, Shards, Wall of Elements, Switch Bars, Trap, Barrage, 3 times Jabs, and then Switch Bars, and then apply your ultimates. For your 1-bar setup, again, you go Trap, Solar Barrage, 3 Jabs, and that is it. And then you just use your Barrage when it's back up, and you just do jabs basically the whole time. I mean, it's very, very easy and simple build to use. Now, I always do a fashion segment of the build, and so the fashion segment of this build, Bakes is actually wearing the Spider Kith skin, which you get from doing the Cradle of Shadows Challenger achievement. For his costume, he's wearing the Deep Wood Pod Singer tunic. And then besides that, I think he is using a personality. Yep, right here, personality. He's using the heroic personality. And for hats, he is not wearing anything here. So that is his fashion for this Templar, if you are curious about that. But that is going to be it for this Magicka No Death build. I hope you all enjoyed this. Again, if you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, heavy attack that bell icon to stay up to date on all the content in the channel. And leave a comment below if you have any questions about the build. Again, this is just a build that I think that is just very simple to use, very easy to learn, and anyone who struggles with 2 bars can also use it. It's just something that I really think can be great for beginner and mid-game players. But again, make sure to follow me on Twitter at brahwegotthis, and then again, huge shout out to Bakes as well. And you can always come to our Discord again and talk there, ask questions. You can come to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/brahwegotthis, and you can check out our website at brahwegotthis.com. But until next time, y'all, just remember to have faith, be great, and I'll see you on ESO.